Hello my fellow mayors and welcome once again to Perafilozof City Skylines videos. In this episode I will be continuing to build up the city called Bedrock, the city in which I plan to reach 1 million population on the hard mode. Before we move on to the gameplay itself, just a few things that I would like to tell you. I am very happy with your response about the intros, so I have made a refined version or two. I will show you in a moment. I would also like you to do my subscriber survey if you haven't already. I will put the link in the description of this video. And I would like to ask you to send me your save files. If you want me to showcase your city, you can do it over email at this email, parablanta@gmail.com, or you can send it over the Steam Workshop. Now let's get on to the intros and then onto the gameplay. Here we are, back to our familiar Bedrock. The Bedrock city needs to expand because I have filled up this area. I have zoned it. It might not have filled up yet, but it will very soon. I need to expand further. I have decided to use this part of the city, but before I can expand here, I need to do some major remodeling of the highways. I will need to connect this highway coming off from here with this one here through a straight line here. Then I will need a small interchange here that's gonna connect to this highway over here, which is going to be connected with this one with a small interchange here. So we'll have two small interchanges for these highways, not to be connected like this, but separate on their own interchanges. Without further ado, let's go and do this. I will also need to raise these roads here, these highways, so that I can fit roads below them and connect this part of the city like I have connected the previous ones. So there is a lot of bulldozing to be done. Now that I've finished bulldozing, I need to see how this part of the city is going to connect over here with the new one. It's supposed to go through these two-way streets with trees, because in this part of the city I did not use so many highway ramps like I used in this part of the city. So I will need to continue down into this part of the city with these two-lane streets. Now I also need to leave enough room for there to actually be ramps onto the highway, which I'm going to raise up here. Now the trick is that there aren't enough cross streets here to allow for both of those streets, for the ones going underneath the highway and the ramps. So what I will need to do is switch the places where I used to have ramps for streets that are gonna go underneath the highway, while I'm going to have to make new spots where I'm going to have the ramps. In order to not have a problem when I go and get a highway on top of these streets, I will draw the streets first, something that the game has taught me while I was building the previous parts of the city. There we go, and that's one. Now I need a second one. One that's gonna be coming down from here and going over here. Now I can just make it parallel to this one, although it's not exactly straight, but nothing can be done about that at the moment. It can go right next to it with a small distance in between them, and then I can turn it around later on with the upgrade tool. Now what I need to do is connect over here with the streets going underneath the highway. There we go, and that's one. Now I need a second one. One that's gonna be coming down from here and going over here. Now I can just make it parallel to this one, although it's not exactly straight, but nothing can be done about that at the moment. It can go right next to it with a small distance in between them, and then I can turn it around later on with the upgrade tool. Now what I need to do is connect over here with the streets going underneath the highway. Now I have been thinking whether or not to pull the highway all the way down here. I do not think that's necessary, and I will need this area here probably for other buildings and such services, maybe another of these cargo harbors, so I will draw the highway right about here, and that will be the end of it. But I need to see how is it going to go over these highways. These highways should continue gliding like this, so this one will need to be raised up so that it can go above these. Well, these will be going down here, and they need to connect to this. Well, this bridge is in the wrong orientation for me, so I'll have to remake it as well. Now, pretty much everything is connected. If you want to go from the old parts of the city into this part over here, you just use this ramp here and you're off. If you're trying to come from the map into that part of the city, you go through here, you go through this ramp, and you go through this highway here. If you're coming off this highway, you can take a ramp here and go out of the map there, or you can continue going down, use this ramp, and get into this part of the city. And that's pretty much everything that needs to be connected. The same thing needs to happen over here with this connection. And that's pretty much done. 1 and 2, and they are as straight as they can get. I mean, I kinda messed up this one a little bit. Too much room here, too little space here, but I'm gonna live with this. And that would be pretty much everything that needs to be done with the highway in this area. Now, there is one additional thing that I need to get these streets underneath here. Now, hopefully I'm not gonna hit any of the pillars. That's pretty much done. Now all that is remaining is to get the highway connections back into the city. Now as for the connections for this part of the city, I will need to first get the highway over here. It is supposed to be parallel to this one and go above all of this. That would be going like this from here. Yep, and then page up to raise it over here, go above, and then go back down. Now what I need also are streets coming off this part of the city up here, and there are connections already. It is just a question of managing to get them to go through below here. Let's get back to the highway itself. I kinda ended up going a little bit to the side, so I will need to fix that by going like here, like so. Now to here, and then like this, a connection is made here. That's pretty much everything for that side. Now down here. Now for the highway connections in this part here, there is one that's already ready to go. It would be going from here to here, but kind of seems to be giving me some trouble right now. Maybe off of here like this. Yeah, that could probably work out. Unless there's a whole bunch of traffic that's coming off of here trying to go here. But we will leave that for a bit later on. The connections need to be finished up here. As for how I'm going to space out the zones in this part of the city, well, in here I will have the incinerators because they are already on the contaminated area. Then salt power plant could probably fit here if the roads are spaced out a little bit more, or I don't even have to place it there because I already have excess power. When you look, that this one is still turned off. And there's also, I think, a spot here and a spot here. So no need to have a salt power plant here as well. Then after that, although if the incinerators are going to be polluting this area, it might as well be a salt power plant. The road will just have to be moved a few spaces. Then down here I will have the same setup like I have over here, with the roads going parallel to each other with just enough space for 4x8 zones. I also need to get the water here, and the highway connections are gonna be made in such a way that I'm gonna be getting off this highway like this. Going then down and becoming a street for this part of the city. Something like this. Going over here and then once again becoming a ramp to get the traffic into this highway here, and then the traffic can use the highways to get anywhere else it wants. Of course, I won't be zoning on these. I will just using them as cross streets for the ones that I'm actually going to be zoning on, like this. Well, that would be all, folks, for this video. Thank you all for watching, and please stay tuned for more.